Hi, I'm Tom from JFJ Wood Flooring. In this video, we're going to look at the advantages and disadvantages of textured wood flooring. Textured floors have become really popular in recent years and they can look fantastic in the right setting, but like anything, they're not for everyone. The goal of this video isn't to tell you whether you should or shouldn't choose a textured floor, but it's to help you understand the pros and cons so you can decide whether it's the right choice for your home and lifestyle. So when we talk about textured wood flooring, we're referring to finishes such as brushed, hand-scraped, distressed or band-sawn boards where the surface of the wood isn't sanded smooth. There is one common misconception I do want to touch on though, and that's around avoiding a smooth or shiny finish. It's not uncommon for people to say they want to avoid that very smooth, glossy look, and they assume that means they have to choose a textured floor. In reality, that's not always the case. A board that's sanded smooth but finished with a matte treatment can, in many people's opinion, look just as natural and authentic as a textured board. So if your main aim is to avoid shine, it's worth knowing that you don't automatically need to jump straight to textured finishes. So let's start with the advantages, and the first is probably the most obvious, which is simply how textured floors look. A textured surface, particularly brushed finishes, helps highlight the natural grain of the timber and it enhances the character of the wood. It can make a floor feel more authentic, more tactile, and in many cases closer to the look of a traditional reclaimed floorboard. Another advantage of textured flooring is how forgiving it can be in day-to-day life. Because the surface already has a texture and variation, scratches and general wear and tear can blend in more than they would on a completely smooth floor. So for busy household, homes with pets or areas with higher foot traffic, this can be a big plus. Some people even like the idea that as the floor wears over time, it simply adds to the overall character rather than detracting from it. And finally, textured floors don't just look different, they feel different too. Many people really like the sort of tactile nature of a brushed or textured surface. It can be said to feel more rugged, more organic, and less clinical. This, of course, is personal preference, but it's one of the reasons textured floors continue to be so popular. Now, moving on to the disadvantages, the first of which is cleaning and maintenance. Any texture in the surface means there are more grooves and low points where dirt can settle. Because of this, textured floors are, in their nature, more difficult to clean, and in areas where ease of cleaning is a top priority, this is definitely something worth thinking about. This can be particularly noticeable if you're choosing a paler or heavily whitened finish. Generally, the lighter parts of the board sit in the deepest parts of the grain, exactly where the dirt naturally collects. So in the wrong setting, this can mean those lighter tones sometimes don't stay looking light for long. That's not to say pale textured floors can't work, they absolutely can, but it's an important factor to think about for certain settings. Another key consideration is repairability. For many people, one of the attractions of wood floorboards is having the ability to sand boards back and then refinish them. But with a textured finish, you have to consider that by sanding, you're going to lose some, if not all, of the texture. This applies if you're completely sanding an entire area of the floor, but it also applies if you're wanting to sand back a small section, known as patch repair. By sanding a patch, you're eating into that texture, smoothing the surface, which can make it harder for the repaired area to blend seamlessly with the surrounding boards. That said, there is a bit of a counterpoint here though, because as I mentioned earlier, textured floors do tend to disguise wear better in the first place. Many people are less likely to feel the need to carry out patch repairs at all. So with all that in mind, the big question is textured flooring the right choice for you? Well, the answer to this really depends on your thoughts towards the pros and cons that we've discussed. Textured floors can be a great option if you're drawn to a more organic, rugged look, or you think texture feels more tactile underfoot. They can also be a good choice if you're comfortable with the fact that the floor will age over time and that small marks, scuffs and signs of wear may actually add to the overall character rather than detract from it. On the other hand, if ease of cleaning is a top priority, you want to be able to more easily patch repair your floor, if you're looking for something that's easy to clean in a busy household, a smoother board with the right finish may be a more practical option and can still look very natural if chosen carefully. So hopefully this video has helped highlight some practical considerations around choosing a textured wooden floor for your home. If you'd like to talk through the options or get some honest advice, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We're a family business and we're always happy to help. Thanks for watching.